I was already on my knees when the chapter of my life cracked open. The sting on my cheek burned like fire, and the sound of Lady Marlowe's slap still echoed through the grand hall. The tray I dropped lay in pieces beside me. Silver shards everywhere. Every eye on me. She stood over me with that cold smile. "Pick it up. You useless thing." I stared at the broken pieces. My heartbeat hammered hard, but not from fear. Something different rose in me. Something sharp. Something I had buried for years. "I said pick it up," she repeated. I lifted my head. My cheek throbbed, but the laughter slipped out before I could stop it. Quiet at first. Then louder. The hall froze. Her eyes narrowed. "Are you mocking me?" "No. Just thinking," I said. "That you hit harder than I expected." Gasps rolled through the room. Servants stepped back. Nobles leaned in. Before she could strike again, the doors swung open. Boots clicked across the marble. The scent of rain blew in with a tall man in a dark navy coat. The new Imperial ambassador. Rowan Hale. His steps slowed when he saw me. His entire body stilled, like time held its breath. "Avery," he whispered. The name cut through me like ice. I pushed myself to my feet fast. "You have the wrong person, sir." Rowan shook his head. His voice broke. "No. It is you." Lady Marlowe stepped forward. "Ambassador, do not concern yourself with the staff. This one is nothing but trouble." Rowan ignored her. He walked straight to me and grabbed my wrist. His grip was firm and warm. I felt his pulse racing. "Why are you here?" he asked in a low voice. "They told me you were dead." The hall erupted in whispers. I tried to pull my hand free, but he held on. "I am a servant," I said. "Nothing more." "Stop lying," Rowan said. His eyes searched my face with something that looked like grief. "You survived. I can see it in your eyes." Lady Marlowe stepped between us. "Unhand him. Guards, remove the servant." Rowan did not move. His jaw tightened. "No one touches him." Her voice sharpened. "He is my property. I decide what is done with him." Property. The word stabbed deeper than her slap. Rowan turned to her. "He belongs to the Imperial House." The hall went still. Even the chandeliers seemed to stop trembling. I shook my head hard. "You are making a mistake." Rowan leaned close. His breath brushed my ear. "Avery Sealam. That is your name. I swore I would know you if I ever saw you again." My knees weakened for a moment. Memories flickered like flames. A fire. A scream. A hand pulling me through smoke. "No," I said, but my voice betrayed me. "That is not who I am." His hand slid to my shoulder. His voice softened, almost pleading. "Look at me." I did. He exhaled like a man seeing a ghost rise from ash. "You grew up. You survived. You came back to the very place your enemies control." Lady Marlowe snapped her fingers. Guards rushed in. Rowan stepped in front of me again. "He is under Imperial protection." "On whose authority?" she demanded. "Mine," he said. She tried to push past him, but Rowan's voice rose in a tone that shook the hall. "I address the heir of the Imperial family. Stand down." My breath caught in my throat. The room spun. I felt every gaze pierce my back. I whispered, "Stop it. Stop calling me that." Rowan met my eyes with a certainty that terrified me. "It is you," he said. "Avery. Son of Orin Sealam." The room gasped again. Lady Marlowe stepped back, stunned. My pulse pounded against my ribs. Then Rowan spoke the words no one had uttered in years. "Your Highness." Rowan dragged me into the nearest corridor before the guards could reach us. The sconces flickered against the stone walls. My pulse thudded in my ears. He pinned me with a stare. "Avery. Look at me. I told you not to call me that." My voice cracked, and I hated how weak it sounded. "It is your name," he said. "The name they stole from you." "I am a servant," I said. "Nothing more." Rowan stepped closer. The heat from his coat brushed my arm. "You vanished the night the Imperial Palace burned. I searched every orphanage, every border town. You were gone. And now you stand here in a uniform that insults your blood." I said stop, I snapped, my voice echoing down the corridor. "You have the wrong person." His expression shifted. Softened. "Avery, the fire was no accident. They hunted your family. They will hunt you too." I felt the cold stone behind my back as I tried to steady my breathing. "My family is dead," I said quietly. "Whoever they were." Rowan reached for my shoulder. His touch was steady and warm. They were murdered. And you were meant to die with them. I flinched away. Then let them think I did. Heavy footsteps shook the floor. Lady Marlowe's voice sliced through the hall. Find the servant. Bring him to me. Rowan cursed under his breath. He grabbed my wrist and pulled me deeper into the shadows. She knows something is wrong, he said. You need to leave. Tonight. I cannot, I said. Why not? He demanded. The answer slipped out before I could stop it. Her. Rowan blinked. Her. Who is her? I cannot leave her here. My voice dropped. Not with him. Before Rowan could ask again, the guards rounded the corner. Rowan stepped in front of me. Ambassador Hale, the captain said. Lady Marlowe ordered us to collect the servant. He is under my authority, Rowan said. He belongs to this estate. Rowan raised his head. His voice grew sharp. He belongs to no one. Touch him and you answer to the Imperial Court. The guards hesitated. The captain stepped back. Lady Marlowe appeared behind them. Her eyes flicked between us, cold and calculating. Why protect a servant, ambassador? Why risk your status for someone so low? Rowan did not blink. You will not harm him. She tilted her head with a smile that did not reach her eyes. Then tell us. Who is he? I felt Rowan stiffen. He whispered to me. If they learn the truth before you are ready, you will not survive the night. I am not leaving, I repeated. You must. What happened to your parents was not random. The killer was someone inside the palace. Someone close enough to know your habits. Someone who believed killing a child would secure power. My chest tightened. Why are you telling me this? Because they will come again. And if they find you like this, unguarded, untrained, unarmed, you will die before dawn. My throat felt dry. I told you. I am not leaving. Then you are choosing death, he said. No, I said. I am choosing her. Rowan stared at me with disbelief. Who is she? I felt my voice fail for a moment as something warm twisted in my chest. Nora. A whisper of movement came from the end of the corridor. Rowan turned first. Then I did. Nora stood there in a pale blue dress. Her breath was unsteady. Her fingers trembled against the wall. She had heard everything. Her eyes were wide. And they were locked on me. Rain hammered against the stable roof as Nora dragged me inside. Straw clung to my boots, and the storm wind pushed the door shut behind us. Her grip on my sleeve tightened. Tell me the truth. Who is Rowan? Why did he call you Avery? I swallowed hard. Her eyes were wide and wet from the rain. Her breath trembled in the cold air. It was a mistake, I said. He thought I was someone else. No, she said. He looked at you like he knew you. Like he had been searching for you. I looked away. My cheek still burned from Lady Marlowe's slap. Nora, drop it. It is nothing. She stepped closer until I could feel the warmth of her body through the chill. Her hand rose slowly, hesitating, then touched the bruise on my cheek. Someone hurt you again. It is nothing I cannot handle. She shook her head. You should not have to handle it at all. For a moment, the stable felt too small. Her fingers lingered on my skin, soft and trembling. My breath hitched. I am fine, I whispered. No, you are not, she said. And I am tired of watching you pretend you are. The door slammed open. Grant stood there, soaked from the storm, his jaw clenched so tight I heard his teeth grind. His eyes dropped to Nora's hand on my face. He stepped inside slowly. What do you think you are doing? Nora pulled her hand back but did not step away. Grant, calm down. Calm down, he said. His voice shook with barely controlled rage. He is touching you. I touched him, she said. He is hurt. Grant stalked right up to me. I could smell the wine on his breath. If you ever lay a finger on her again, I will have you flogged. Nora pushed between us. You are not beating anyone. He did nothing wrong. He is a servant, Grant said. He should know his place. I clenched my jaw. Nora looked back at me with fear and apology mixing in her eyes. Grant, leave him alone, she said. He smirked. You defend him this fiercely. Why? What is he to you? Nora froze. I felt my pulse spike. He is someone I care about, she said. Grant's face darkened. Then I will deal with him later. He turned and stormed out, kicking the door so hard it cracked. The moment he was gone, Nora grabbed my hands. I am sorry. I did not mean to involve you. He is cruel when angry. I know, I said. That is why I am not leaving you here with him. She stared at me, chest rising and falling fast. Then stay close, she whispered. The stable door opened again, but this time it was Rowan, dripping from the rain. His expression was tight and urgent. You cannot stay here, he said. Grant is dangerous. And Lady Marlowe sent for riders. Someone is coming for you. I am not leaving, I said. You are choosing death, Rowan snapped. I am choosing her. Rowan looked at Nora, then back at me. You are risking everything. Then so be it. Night settled hard over the estate. By the time I returned to my small room, the storm had calmed. My clothes were damp. My mind was burning. I shut the door. A piece of paper lay on the floor. I picked it up. The ink was smudged as if written in haste. You are not safe. They know who you are. The west wing was colder than the rest of the estate. The halls smelled of dust and mold, and my footsteps echoed against cracked walls. I held the note tight in my hand. You are not safe. They know who you are. I followed the only fresh footprints in the dust. My chest tightened with every step. Avery. Rowan's voice cut through the silence. He appeared from the shadows, soaked from the lingering rain and breathing hard. I told you to stay hidden, he said. Why are you here? I followed a message. Someone warned me. You should have told me, he snapped. I could not risk Nora getting dragged into it again. Before Rowan could argue, the heavy door at the end of the corridor slammed shut. The entire hall jumped from the impact. Rowan spun around. Who is there? No answer. Then the sharp smell of oil hit my nose. A trail of flames burst to life along the baseboards. Fire raced up the old curtains, swallowing the hallway in a roar. Smoke curled fast, choking the air. Rowan grabbed my arm. This is a trap. They want you dead. Heat struck my face as the fire surged forward. Move, Rowan ordered. We sprinted to the far window, coughing. The smoke clouded everything. My eyes burned. The flames crackled louder, pushing closer. I shoved at the window. It rattled but refused to open. It is stuck, I said through my teeth. Rowan slammed his shoulder into it. The glass cracked but held. The fire licked the walls, eating the wood. My lungs felt like they were filling with knives. Again, I shouted. Together we rammed into it. The glass shattered outward. Cold night air rushed in. Rowan pushed me first. Jump. I hit the fountain below with a splash that knocked the breath out of me. Water surged up my nose. Rowan crashed beside me seconds later. I dragged myself out, coughing hard. The flames crawled through the broken window like a beast searching for prey. Voices shouted from the courtyard. Servants ran with buckets. The Duke arrived last, his coat half-buttoned as if he had dressed while running. What happened? Duke Whitmore demanded. Rowan stepped in front of me, dripping and furious. Someone locked us in that wing and set it on fire. You knew he was here. You hid him. Why? The Duke's face drained of all color. His eyes flicked to me, then away. I do not know what you are implying, he said. You know exactly what I am implying, Rowan said. He is the missing heir, and you kept him here as a servant. I kept a boy alive, the Duke said. That is all. My breath caught. You knew who I was. He shook his head too quickly. You were found injured near the river after the palace fire. You had no name. I protected you. That is all the truth there is. Rowan stepped closer. You protected him by hiding him under a cruel noblewoman. By letting him be beaten and mocked. The Duke's jaw tightened. There were reasons. Then tell me, I said. He looked at me then, really looked, with guilt clouding his eyes. Before he could answer, Nora rushed into the courtyard. Her hair was soaked, her dress stained with ash. She held something in her hand. I found this in the west wing, she said. In the ashes. She placed the locket in my palm. It was warm and dented, but the crest on it shone under the moonlight. The imperial crest. My hand shook as I opened it. Inside was a baby. Me. My breath hitched. Nora whispered the words I feared most. This proves it. You are the missing heir. Candlelight flickered against the stone walls when Nora pulled me inside her chamber. My back hit the door as she locked it. Her breath shook. My heart did too. She held the locket between her fingers and pressed it to my chest. Tell me who you really are. The metal felt cold. Her touch felt warm. Too warm. I already told you, I whispered. I grew up in the village. I work the fields. I am no one. Her fingers slowly slid along the chain, stopping right over my heartbeat. That picture was taken before the palace fire. You were a baby. So tell me why you have it. I swallowed hard. The scent of lavender from her robe surrounded me. The room felt smaller. She felt closer. I was adopted, I said. Rowan found me the morning after the fire. He hid me until he thought I was safe. Her eyes searched mine like she could peel back every layer. Safe from who? I hesitated. Her hand trembled on my chest. That tremble broke something inside me. I do not know, I lied. You are lying. Her voice cracked. I can feel it. I looked away. The candle beside her sputtered. The shadows on her face trembled like she did. Nora, I said quietly. If I told you everything, you would be in danger. I already am, she whispered. I just want the truth from you. I opened my mouth, ready to confess the part of me I had buried for years, but the door burst open. Grant stormed in. His eyes froze when he saw Nora's hand on my chest. My shirt was loose, half unbuttoned from when she had grabbed it. The locket hung between us like evidence. What is this? Grant said. His voice was low. Too low. Nora stepped forward. Grant. Stop. But he did not even blink at her. His hand shot out, grabbing me by the collar. He yanked me from her arms and dragged me toward the hall. How dare you touch what is not yours? Nora screamed. Grant, let him go. Let him go. Her voice tore through me harder than his grip. Grant slammed me against the wall outside her chamber. Pain shot through my shoulder. You think you can sneak into her room, he snarled. You think she looks at you for any reason except pity. I gasped for breath. I did nothing. You breathe near her, he said, and that is already too much. Nora shoved herself between us. Tears filled her voice even as she tried to stay strong. Grant, release him. Right now. He ignored her and tightened his grip. My vision blurred. Then a hand grabbed Grant's wrist. Rowan. His voice cut through the corridor. Let go of him. Grant laughed without smiling. You want to protect your little stray again. Rowan stepped forward. There was a fire in his eyes I had never seen before. He dropped a rolled document onto the floor between us. Read it, Rowan said. Grant froze. Nora picked it up. Her eyes moved across the ink. Her fingers shook harder with each line. What is this? She whispered. Rowan looked straight at Grant. Proof. Your fiancé has been conspiring with enemies of the Imperial Family, including a plan to eliminate the last surviving heir. Him. Grant went pale. Nora's gaze snapped to me. Last heir. What does he mean? Every heartbeat felt like an avalanche sliding toward me. Grant lunged for the document. Rowan stepped in front of him. The corridor went silent. Then Nora spoke, voice tight with fear. Tell me the truth. Right now. A cold wind swept through the hallway. I felt everything collapse inside me. And I knew I could not hide any longer. Rain hammered the courtyard stones when Rowan's words hit us harder than the storm. Grant has been sending letters to the rebel faction, Rowan said. Their goal is simple. Kill the Imperial heir before he can claim his birthright. Nora's breath caught. My chest tightened. Grant spat at Rowan's feet. You have no proof. Rowan lifted the document again. I have every proof. Before anything else could be said, shouts erupted from the gates. Grant's men poured in with torches and blades. Nora grabbed my arm. Run. I staggered back as a sword slashed where my ribs had been a second earlier. Rowan dragged me toward the stables. They want you alive, Rowan said. That makes this worse. The courtyard blurred behind us. Shouting. Steal. Nora screaming my name. Then the forest swallowed us whole. Branches whipped my arms as the rain softened into mist. My lungs burned. I could still taste smoke and betrayal in the back of my mouth. When we finally stopped beneath a cluster of pines, Rowan pressed his hand to his knee and exhaled sharply. This was not supposed to happen. I pushed him back. You knew they wanted me dead. Why hide it? Rowan raised his hands, palms trembling. Because it was my mission. My heart dropped. He looked at me with something like shame. I was sent to eliminate the missing heir if he resurfaced. If you resurfaced. My legs went cold. You were supposed to kill me, I said. Yes. My breath shook. The forest seemed to tilt. He stepped closer. I changed my mind. When? I asked. The day I saw your scar. The one only the royal nurse knew about. I recognized you. And I could not finish the mission. The rain whispered through the leaves. It felt like the world held its breath with me. So you became my protector out of guilt. No. Because you are not who the rebels claim you are. You care. You hesitate. You look at people like you see them. That is why the court fears you. My throat tightened. He took another step. I stayed because I believed you deserved a life. Not an execution. I backed away. You should have told me. You should have told Nora. And put a target on her back, Rowan said. They would have used her against you. He was right. But it did not stop the ache in my chest. I grabbed a branch for balance. How do I trust you now? You do not have to, he said softly. But let me keep you alive. Let me fix what I helped create. His voice cracked. That scared me more than Grant's men. I opened my mouth to answer, but something hissed through the air. Rowan's eyes widened. Get down. I dropped as an arrow sliced the space beside my cheek. I felt its heat. I heard it bury itself in the tree behind me. I froze. Another arrow knocked in the shadows. Rowan grabbed my shoulder. We were followed. My pulse slammed against my ribs. A voice echoed from the darkness. Found you. The forest went silent. The attacker stepped from the shadows with a bow already drawn. Rowan reached for his blade, but I knew he would not get there in time. The arrow aimed at my heart. Then a whistle cut through the trees. A dagger landed in the dirt between us. The attacker froze. I spun toward the sound. Nora stood behind a fallen pine, chest heaving, rain tangled in her hair. Nora, I whispered. She rushed forward and grabbed my arm. You left without me. The attacker turned, ready to strike again, but Rowan lunged and knocked him into the brush. The man fled into the trees. My breath shook. Nora's fingers stayed wrapped around my wrist. You should not be here, Rowan said. She glared at him. I heard everything. What did you hear? I asked. Her voice trembled. Grant told one of his men that he started the fire in the West Wing. He said he wanted to smoke you out and make it look like an accident. I felt my stomach twist. Rowan stepped closer. If Grant knows he failed, he will try again. He already has. Nora's eyes glistened. He sent men after you. I had to follow. The forest creaked around us like it agreed. Rowan scanned the trees. We cannot stay here. There is a cabin nearby. Move. We ran. Branches snapped under our feet as we pushed deeper into the woods. The cabin appeared like a ghost, slanted and cracked, but still standing. Inside, dust floated in the moonlight. The wooden floor groaned as I stepped in. Rowan checked the windows while Nora pulled me toward the corner. She cupped my face with both hands. Her touch was warm despite the cold. Look at me. I did. You are shaking, she whispered. So are you. She leaned her forehead against mine. My breath caught as our noses brushed. I am not scared for myself, she said. I am scared for you. Her voice broke. I will not let anyone touch you. Not Grant. Not the rebels. No one. My chest burned. I wanted to tell her everything, but Rowan's voice cut through the moment. We have a problem. His face was pale. His hands trembled around a parchment. Nora straightened. What happened? Rowan closed the door quietly, as if the forest might hear him. Grant has put a bounty on him. My pulse stuttered. How much? Nora asked. Enough to make every mercenary in this kingdom hunt him. Rowan looked at me. And the Duke has agreed. I felt the floor sway. Nora grabbed my hand. My father would never. Rowan met her eyes. He already has. The wind rattled the cabin walls. Nora's grip on me tightened until it hurt. Why? I whispered. Rowan took a slow breath. Because if the world learns you are alive, every secret he buried dies with him. The words hung in the dark like a sentence. Nora shook her head. Then we run. All of us. Tonight. Before I could answer, an echo outside made Rowan lift his blade. Boots on leaves. Multiple steps. Closing in. His voice dropped to a whisper. They found us. The estate roared with shouting the moment we stepped out of the forest. Guards rushed past us with torches. Servants cried near the burning stables. Smoke curled into the sky like the whole place was choking on its own secrets. Rowan dragged me through the chaos. The Duke is in his study. He cannot run now. Nora held my hand the entire way, her fingers cold, her eyes fixed on the mansion as if everything she ever knew was cracking open. When we burst into the study, the Duke stood behind his desk, shaking. Papers littered the floor. A bottle of wine lay shattered at his feet. Rowan stepped forward. "It is time." The Duke closed his eyes. "I hoped this day would never come." My voice felt raw. "Tell me who I am." He looked at me, and something inside him shattered. "You are not a servant. You are not a foundling. You are Avery of the Imperial blood. My king's only son." Nora gasped. Her legs buckled and she clutched the edge of the desk. My chest tightened. "Why hide me?" The Duke covered his face with trembling hands. "Your parents were murdered right in front of me. I tried to protect them. I failed. So I swore I would save you." "Murdered by rebels," Rowan said. The Duke shook his head. "No. Not rebels. It was the Mercer family." Nora's breath caught. "Grant's family?" "Yes." The Duke's voice cracked. "They wanted control of the throne. Killing the heir was the first step." My pulse throbbed in my ears. "And you forced Nora into an engagement with that family?" He nodded slowly. "To keep her alive. They threatened her. If I refused, they would kill her like they killed your parents." Nora stumbled toward me. "I did not know. I swear I did not know." I caught her shoulders. "I believe you." But the room trembled with the truth. Nora's fiancé. The man who hunted me. The man who tried to burn me alive. His family had killed mine. Rowan turned to the Duke. "Your house will fall for this. You hid the rightful heir." The Duke dropped to his knees in front of me. "Avery, I beg you. Do not condemn Nora. Punish me if you must." Nora cried out. "Father, stop." I shook my head. "I am not condemning anyone. But I will not run anymore." Before the Duke could speak, a horn sounded outside. Then a scream. Rowan spun toward the balcony doors. "Something is wrong." We rushed out to the open balcony above the courtyard. Torches flickered below. Horses whinnied in panic. And standing on the opposite balcony, dressed in dark leather, was Grant. His eyes were wild. Red with fury. The night wind swept his hair back, and the crossbow in his hands looked steady. He aimed it at Nora. "Nora Whitmore," he shouted. "You should have stayed obedient." Nora froze. I stepped in front of her. "Grant, put it down." "You took everything from me," he snarled. "You. The lost heir. You ruined my future." Rowan lunged forward. "Grant, stop." Grant pulled the trigger. The string snapped. The bolt flew. Straight at Nora. The world snapped into a single sound. The crack of the crossbow. I leaped. My body slammed into Nora and we hit the stone floor hard. She screamed as the bolt scraped across her shoulder and embedded itself in the pillar behind us. Blood streaked down her arm. I held her tight. "Are you hurt?" "It burns," she whispered. "But I am alive because of you." Before I could answer, Rowan shouted from the balcony rail. "Grant is running." I stood. My legs shook. Adrenaline roared in my ears. We sprinted after him through the smoke-filled halls and into the courtyard where flames lit the night like a battlefield. Grant pushed through the chaos, shoving aside guards, eyes wild. "Stay away from me." I shouted back. "You tried to kill her. You tried to kill me. You will not escape." Lightning cracked through the clouds and lit up the sky with a cold white flash. Rain began to fall in sharp needles that hissed on the burning stables. Rowan caught up first. "Drop the weapon." Grant turned, soaked hair plastered to his forehead. He pointed the knife he had stolen from Rowan earlier. "You do not command me. None of you do." His voice trembled. Not with fear. With obsession. I stepped closer. "This was never about the throne, was it?" He laughed. "The throne. I could not care less. I wanted her." Nora froze behind me. Grant's voice broke into a snarl. "She looked at you. A servant. And she would not look at me. Do you know how that felt?" I clenched my fists. "You could have walked away." "I never walk away from what is mine," he shouted. Lightning struck again. The entire estate glowed for a second. Flames, smoke, rain, all mixing into a violent storm. We chased him toward the cliffs beyond the garden wall. The wind howled around us. The ground turned slick with mud and falling ash. Grant slipped but caught himself on a rock. Rowan lunged and tackled him. The two crashed onto the wet ground right at the cliff edge. "Drop the knife," Rowan growled. Grant twisted underneath him. You think you can save him? You were sent to kill him. Do not act holy now. Rowan's grip faltered for a second. Just a second. Enough. Grant ripped the knife from Rowan's belt. He pressed it to Rowan's throat. He stole her. You stole her. I lose nothing tonight. I stepped forward. Grant, listen to me. He looked at me, breath ragged. Rain washed the dirt from his face, revealing something unhinged. She chose you. Even when she did not know who you were. She chose you. Nora called out, voice breaking. Grant, stop this. Please. He laughed again, hollow. Too late. Rowan punched him, trying to disarm him, but Grant shoved back with sudden, manic strength. His foot slipped. Rowan reached to grab him. For a heartbeat, they hung between sky and earth. Rain hammered down on all of us. Grant's eyes met mine. If I fall, he falls too. And he pulled Rowan with him. Rowan! Nora screamed. I lunged forward. But both men disappeared over the edge. The night swallowed them. Rain hammered the courtyard as I stood frozen, staring at the edge of the cliff. Below, Grant's body lay broken against jagged rocks. My chest heaved. Relief mixed with the hollow ache of everything I had survived. Rowan staggered toward me, clutching his side. His ribs were broken, I could see it in the way he moved. I lived, he said, voice ragged. Barely. I ran to him and helped him sit. You saved me, I whispered. You saved us. He shook his head. You survived because you are meant to. Nora appeared behind me, soaked, mud-caked on her dress. She threw herself into my arms. I thought I lost you, she said, her voice breaking. Her forehead pressed against my chest, and I could feel her heartbeat. You didn't, I murmured. You never lost me. Her fingers tangled in my wet hair. She pulled back just enough to look into my eyes. Promise me you will stay. I promise, I said. But we have to move. Rowan sent a message. From the edge of the estate, horsemen arrived, cloaks slick with rain. The Imperial Guard. They knelt automatically when they saw me. The courtyard went silent. Torches flickered against the storm. Rain ran down my face like fire. I straightened. Every muscle in my body felt heavy with truth. Every moment of being a servant, of hiding, of fear, all of it led here. I lifted my chin. I am Avery Sealam, heir to the Imperial Empire. The wind whipped her hair across her face. Nora reached for me, trembling fingers brushing my arm. Her eyes shone. If you want, come with me, I whispered. A tear slipped down her cheek. Always, she said, and smiled through the rain. Rowan coughed, leaning against the fountain. Your Highness, you are finally home. I looked around at the guards, the flames of the courtyard, the ruined estate. This was my life now. I had survived the fire, the betrayal, the assassins, and the man obsessed with taking everything from me. Nora clung to me, warmth and weight against my chest. I held her close, feeling her shivers in the storm. Lightning struck the tallest spire, illuminating the sky. Thunder rolled across the hills. It felt like the world was marking my return. I straightened again. This is just the beginning, I said softly. Before anyone could respond, a messenger came running from the gates, soaked, gasping for breath. He dropped to one knee. Your Highness, news, the one who ordered your parents' murder, was never caught. The words hit me like ice water. I felt Nora's hand tighten on mine. I swallowed. Every promise, every betrayal, every fight had led here. I took a step forward, the rain soaking my clothes, my hair plastered to my face. Every eye in the courtyard followed me. The storm did not matter. The Empire did not matter. Not yet. But the truth was out. I was Avery Sealam, the heir. And someone out there still wanted to see me dead. I tightened my grip on Nora's hand. We will finish this, I whispered. The guards shifted, lightning illuminated the wet courtyard, and the rain fell harder. Everything was about to change.